Budgeting freelance income or income from content creation can be a really daunting experience. And I absolutely don't blame you at all if you feel this way, because from personal experience as a freelancer and a content creator, it can be a really difficult thing to master. Budgeting in any situation is not always an easy thing to do, and it becomes even harder when you have inconsistent income, like as a freelancer or content creator. But in today's video, I really wanted to go through how I actually budget my freelance and content creation income and show you a template that I like to use in particular with how everything is set out and how I would do things month to month. So hopefully if you are struggling to budget any inconsistent income, this video will help you out. But for those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Kaylee and I'm a beauty and fashion photographer based near Sydney, Australia. But I'm also a content creator, and I started this channel a few years ago to talk about all things business, freelancing, social media, and content creation. And as I mentioned, today's video is going to be all about how you can budget freelance and content creation income, and hopefully the system that I use and that I'm going to show you in this video today will make things a little bit easier for you. So first things first, I'm going to acknowledge that budgeting as a freelancer or a content creator is a very difficult thing to do at times. And it's not always possible to budget in a way that you would like to. And I think you also have to come to terms with the fact that even if you do try and budget and you set up a template and you set up everything at the beginning of the month, it's not always going to go the way you think it's going to go. And that's when things can get really frustrating, because money may not come in on time from certain invoices that haven't been paid out yet. In which case, if you budgeted for certain things in the month, everything's kind of going to be out of order in that way. So I did want to mention that first off, because budgeting as a freelancer or a content creator is just not always going to be super accurate. And I think we all just need to come to terms with that. Inconsistent income is just like this, and it's the nature of it. However, I have been doing things a little bit differently over the last few years that I think have definitely helped with my forms of inconsistent income. And although I do have a little bit of passive income, it is probably not enough to really keep me going with my mortgage repayments that I currently have with my husband and all the other bills that are coming along in this cost of living crisis and all the other inflationary items like groceries and everything else at the moment. So I wanted to give a few little tips today on how I like to do this and show you a little bit more in depth, because I have showed this template once before in one of my monthly reset videos earlier this year, but I just wanted to go a little bit more in depth today and show you how I like to set things out. So let's jump straight into the budget template and get started. Okay, so first and foremost, if you haven't seen any of the videos where I've mentioned this template before, I actually use quite a few templates by CodePlenty, which are the creators of this template. So if you are interested in this particular template or any of their other budgeting templates, because they have quite a few on their website, they also have some goal and habit trackers, which I love using for my monthly reset videos. You can actually head over there via the link in the description box below. I do have an affiliate link there, and there is a 10% discount code as well. So I really do love using a template for budgeting, and these templates are amazing. I find that they're really good for freelancers or content creators because there's heaps of space for you to actually enter in what your income's going to be. And that's the thing, if you've got income from different sources, a lot of the budget templates out there are really difficult to work by because it doesn't always give you that space and that kind of control over income that way. So I really like how these templates are set out in that way. It really makes it easier for freelancers and content creators like myself to actually start budgeting for a month. Now, this is actually just the how-to page, so I'm just going to skip over to the budget button down below and let's get started. So I'm just going to change the month up here because it's just annoying me that it's July. So let's just change it to like November 1st. You can see that we've kind of got like a summed up area up the top here, where it's got total income and bills. We've got a few categories there. This is basically the sum of everything and the totals. So you'll have your total income, which will appear here, your bills, your subscriptions, expenses, savings, and debt. So this is so good because it really covers everything. It covers your debts as well, which I know a lot of people obviously have. And if you've got a mortgage, you've got a car loan or whatever it is, it's got space for that, which is wonderful. So if I do scroll down, you'll see here that there is a tab over here called income. And this is what I was talking about before, where I feel like it's got a lot of space. You know, you've got your payday, and then you've got your expected amount that you'll be paid and your actual amount that you'll be paid. And then it shows you a difference as well of what the actual payment was. And this is really good because I find that even the payments that I'm expected to make each month tend to vary. Even though I'll have an agreed upon value with any given brand, there's fees that sometimes come into effect with with certain payment methods and things like that. There's also the fact that I will often be charging in US dollars, which will be different obviously because I'm Australian and that will be converted into Australian dollars. Being that this will be based on the conversion rate on any given day, it can be a little bit different, and certain banks or certain payment systems will choose a different conversion rate to other banks. So it really can differ quite a bit. And I like to just put a really estimated amount in my expected column and just making sure that whatever the estimate is, I put to the lower end of that estimate, because I don't want to overestimate what I'm going to be paid and then I'm left with like a deficit at the end of the month, because I've done that many times and that's not fun. So for example, what I would go and do first off for the month, and I would do this once a month where I would sit down and do kind of like a reset on my budget, and then I would go and put in all of my income that I'm expected to make. So for example, if I had several sponsorships, I would put them all down individually. Now you don't have to do this if you're a freelancer or a content creator. You don't have to put them down individually, but I like to because it makes things a little bit more detailed and specific with when those particular payments are going to come into my account as well. So I usually as well just again err on the side of caution when it comes to the payday, because I don't always know when I'm exactly going to get paid. So sometimes if I don't know that, I'll just make it like the end of the month so I can be a little bit more conservative with that. So first off, I would put like, for example, if I had a couple of sponsorships, I would just put like sponsorship number 1. You can put the actual brand names in here though if you want. And then sponsorship number 2, and then we'll go sponsorship number 3. So for example, if I had 3 sponsorships in a month, I would then put my payday, if I didn't know when the money was coming in, but I knew it was going to be coming in sometime next month or sometime during the month, I would just put like the 30th of November for each of those as the expected. And you do tend to learn very quickly as a freelancer or a content creator, you tend to learn really quickly that everything you do in your budgeting will be conservative, because you'll get bitten too many times with this kind of thing and then realize that, you know, if you're not conservative enough, you will get your hopes up with certain things. And then if money doesn't come in on time, it can be really chaotic. So I think it's just best to have that kind of mindset with it. So for example, if the first sponsorship is maybe $1,500, I would put that in the expected, and I would just put that in what Australian dollars would be as well, so the converted amount. And again, that would be at a lower end of an estimate. So if you're charging in a currency like US dollars, but you're not living in the US and you're not sure what that's going to convert to, I usually just use a currency converter, and I sometimes will shave off like $100 or $200 off of that amount that it shows me, because usually every currency converter is not the same through banks, through wherever you're being paid out as well. So I always like to be, again, a little bit more conservative with that. Sponsorship number 2, let's just put $1,000, and then for sponsorship number 3, we'll put $1,000 as well. Now, I actually like to put my partner's income in here as well. So if you have a partner who you like to do joint budgeting with, you can absolutely put their income in here too. We actually put all of our income in together, just with a little break in between. So what I usually would do is put his income up the top, because we know what his income is, and when it's coming in, it's always pretty standard. But for now, I'm just going to put a couple of extra streams of income in. So for example, for YouTube, that is going to be a certain amount across my channels per month. So YouTube actually gets paid out on about the 21st, 22nd of each month. So I'm just going to put the 22nd. And for YouTube at the moment, God, I'm probably earning like maybe around $500 joined over both YouTube channels at the moment. It has definitely taken a dive this year, my YouTube income. But then again, my YouTube income over the last few years has just been like this. So you can never really pick it. For the longest time, it was very consistent, but I would say on average between both channels at the moment, it's about $500 a month at the moment. Then anything else that you might have. So for example, I sell presets on my website. I also sell courses. So I could put maybe presets. Usually I would sell presets each month. So I'm just going to put November 30, and you don't necessarily have to fill this in immediately. If you don't feel comfortable knowing whether you're going to make a sale or not, or certain things like that, you can actually just leave it blank. So sometimes that's what I do, just in case I want to be conservative and not put an amount in there, but just have a section for it anyway. I'm going to put in coaching, because I make a certain amount from coaching each month. And again, that's usually towards the end of the month, about the 29th. So let's just say I have a couple of students who will be paying me, say about maybe $600. Course payments, I'm going to put in for the November 30th. I'm going to leave that blank because I don't know whether I'm going to make course sales in a month. Some things like that are better off to be left blank if you want to be a bit more specific with your budgeting and then add them in later if you do get a sale. That's what I prefer to do a lot of the time. And then I'm just going to put in photo shoots as well. So again, if you're a freelancer and you've got a particular service that you offer and you know you've got bookings in particular for any given month, you can put this kind of income in here. I'm just going to put November 30th for payday, leave that blank for now. And then I would also have retouching as another. And to be honest, what I would usually do here is I would be a bit more specific with the client, and I wouldn't just write photo shoot or retouching. I would be like any specific photo shoot or brand I was working for, I would actually put in there individually. Same with retouching. So, and that's just basically how I like to do things because it's just a bit more specific. For myself as well, I'd probably put licensing, image licensing, because I have joined Stills in the last year, and that has been really good for image licensing. So I do make a little bit of money off of that. So again, I'm just going to leave that blank though, because it's hard to tell what you would maybe earn from that in a month. It can be quite up and down. So for now, let's just say the income was about $4,600, just based on what I know is coming in, not on those extra things at the moment. And then during the month, you can go through and fill in the actual when you've actually received those payments, and then things will start to add up in your income. So for example, if I say $1,500 is what I received, you'll see that you start to build a graph here, and you can see when money's coming in and how much. And it also changes in your little financial overview bracket just up here. So we'll just make that $0 again, just so we reset it. So that's basically how I would lay out my income. And I feel like that's the best part about this template, because as I said, there's plenty of room here. I would also, like I said, put my partner's income there as well. And then I would just put that in like that. So I would just kind of separate the two so we know what my income is and then what his is, but usually his is a lot easier to read. So that's how I like to do it. And it's a really great way of doing things and keeping track of your income that way. Then I would go across to bills, and here's where I would start to put in like my mortgage, my other bills like strata, council rates, all the other things that are literally due in a month. So let's just say, I think our mortgage is due at like the end of the month. And let's put a budget of $3,000 in there for the mortgage. And then strata, council, you can put your utility bills in here as well. So like electricity, gas, and then water. Now, gas and water for us are paid quarterly, so we don't actually have to pay for that every month. So I would just divide the cost up for a 3-month bill and just kind of set aside a certain amount each month for that. So let's say for strata, it's about $600 over 3 months. So it'd be about $200 a month that I would need to set aside as well, because strata and council are both quarterly as well. So council, let's just say $100 a month. For a $300 bill. Electricity, let's go about $100 a month, depends. And then gas, I'm gonna say like $80 a month, and let's go water as well, $80 a month. Then in your subscriptions, this is not my actual budgeting, by the way. We have way more expenses than this, but if you want me to do more specific videos where I actually go through some of my expenses for my business and our general expenses, if you really want to see that kind of thing, I can definitely do another video that talks about that a little bit more. Or if you want to start seeing that in the monthly reset videos or financial reset videos, definitely let me know, because I'm definitely open to doing those kinds of videos as well. Subscriptions and memberships is really where I have quite a lot for my business. So for freelancing and for doing content creation, a lot of the time you will have subscriptions that you need to pay for your business. For example, I use Flowdesk for email marketing. I use Teachable for my courses at the moment. And I think for like Teachable, I think it's around about like just under $100 a month. Let's go Flowdesk, like 50. And then obviously Squarespace for my websites. Let's go $100. You know, just estimating here, these are not exact figures at all. And then you might have other things like music licensing and space. For example, I use Google Drive, and I also use Apple storage as well, cloud storage. I think they're pretty cheap actually for what I'm paying at the moment. Let's just put $5 in there a month. And then there's quite a few other subscriptions. You might have health insurance or other insurances personally that you want to put into this bracket. So again, this is a really easy way to do things with that. And then over here, you've got your budget for groceries, dining out, fuel. You can be really specific with what your expenses are here, which is again why I love this template. And because I think you really need to be specific when you are a freelancer and you need to know exactly how much money is going out of your account each month. So let's say for groceries, it's about $400 a month. Dining out, maybe $300 a month. Fuel, let's say $300. We don't really use a lot of fuel because my partner and I both work from home. Again, these are not exact figures at all. And then pets, we'll probably put like $200 a month. And then home shopping, you know, you can be really specific. Again, you've got your custom expenses there. And then moving over to savings. So, I mean, we've got numerous savings accounts, but you can put anything you want in here. So for example, if you're saving for a house or you're saving for a wedding, or if you're saving for a van, you can put your budget in here. So let's say you're putting $500 into the house, $200 into the wedding, and $100 into the van. And then if you've got like a car loan or a debt that you need to pay off, you can put that in here. So let's say budget for that is $350 a month. And of course, I haven't put in all of the income, so we're not looking too good on our total leftover budget. So we're in the negative at the moment, minus 1,570. So let's just, under my partner's income, let's just like put in 5,000 there, just to make this all look a little bit more balanced. But essentially what I would do, so if there is a total left over here after I have put in some of my savings over here, so for example in the house, wedding, van, we've already had our wedding, so we won't be saving for another wedding, and we technically aren't really saving for another house at the moment. We do have a house, but for example, if I did have a total left over, I would try and get that to zero so I knew exactly where the money for the month was going to be allocated. And I do like to do that because I don't like just having you know, quite a bit of money sitting there at all, not really doing anything, because I know what my partner and I are like, and it tends to wither away very, very quickly if you don't allocate it specifically, especially because in your better months of earning as a freelancer and content creator, you want to make sure that that money is being put to good use, and you want to make sure that you're, I guess if you've got like an emergency account, emergency savings, that you're putting enough money in there. This is not financial advice, by the way, this is just personal circumstance. I've always found that that has been really good for me to do that when we have extra money, is just first and foremost putting that into an emergency account, so I know that we can build that up for the months where my income is not as strong. And then you'll see, if we go down to the bottom here, you'll see your transactions tracker. So basically throughout the month, what you can actually do with this is go through your phone or your app on your phone for your bank and go through all of your transactions, enter them in here, and you can choose your category of where they fall under, your bills and all the rest of it. So for example, you can actually put your amount, say for a subscription, like the $100 Teachable amount. Let's put the date in there as like the 5th of November. And then you can actually type in here and put it under Teachable. And so then it will actually come up here under the actual tab that $100 has been paid, and it automatically totals it for you, which is so amazing, because if you're not good with maths, like I'm not, this is a really good idea. Having a template like this is a really good idea. And then obviously you can put your description in here. Now, if we go down here, you'll be able to see where most of your money actually goes. So it can show you where you might need to cut back on a little bit more as a freelancer and where you're spending your money. So I think this is a really fabulous template for so many reasons, but I really do think it helps a lot of content creators and freelancers get on top of their finances. And for me, it definitely has. I feel like I'm so much more specific and very careful with where my money goes, especially these days where inflation has been so high and the cost of living crisis has just been so widespread. I think it's so good to have something like this to really just kind of bring you back and actually see where your money's going, see where your money's also coming in as a freelancer and content creator as well. So you can feel that if you're not really reaching those targets that you would like to with your income, you can maybe make some changes and maybe do a little bit more pitching and really reach out a little bit more in the following month to kind of generate make that little bit more income. So that is essentially how I like to use this template for my own income and my partner's income to really determine where we can put our money during the month, how much we can save. It's just a really, really lovely way to do this. And as I said, if you are interested in these templates, there is a link in the description box below and a 10% discount code as well. I would really love to do more income videos or more financial videos on this kind of stuff month to month. So if you would like to see more like this, definitely let me know in the comments section. I would like to be a little bit more specific each month with my income or my expenses. If you want to see this as well, definitely feel free to let me know because I would love to do a little bit more of that month to month. I think it would be maybe really helpful for a lot of you out there who are looking at getting into work which may be inconsistent and just trying to budget and seeing at the end of the month our results as well and where we go over and all that. I think it's just kind of nice to be a little bit more transparent around finances, and I would love to do a little bit more of that on this channel. But thank you so much for watching this video today, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you do because I'll be posting a lot more videos like this one. Let me know down in the comment section below how you like to budget each month, your income, or if you've got inconsistent income and you like to budget it in a certain way. Definitely let me know in the comment section because I would love to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, make sure to hit the notification bell to see all the updates from my channel in future. But thank you so much as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.